Being recorded.
Yep.
Okay. So do we want to review the minutes from last month?
You can reorder it however you would like.
Or would we like to vote to let, go to right to number 2? And
right
let
to
Julie
number two.
speak.
I will
How
second
about we'll go to
that.
number 2? All right? All right.
It shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
I don't know if you have the information in your packet.
Yes.
Okay, you do?
Yep.
So, this regulation came from Granby. It was part of, does anybody want a copy? All set? Okay. When we were having the issue with the bylaw and the codification and what happened to it, one of the people who was very active in getting the signatures for the special town meeting did some research and found out there was a similar issue with the biomix in Granby and Belchertown at a rifle range. So they wanted to reclaim part of the wetlands that had been compromised when they put in their shooting range.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted to use the biomix. And in that part of Granby, it had bordered Belchertown as well. There were a lot of private wells. And the people there, you know,
Didn't want that, obviously.
came together and they worked with the Granby Board of Health. And you actually have the authority as a Board of Health to do a regulation. This is not a bylaw.
Mhm.
I looked it over, and I think it could be applicable to Templeton to protect our drinking water and our private wells as well as our public wells. We do have, I believe, probably more treatment plants in Templeton
Right.
than Granby or Belchertown would have.
Right.
So that would be a consideration to figure out.
There might have to be some little tweaking. I am in contact with Bob McDonald over at the sewer department, discussing it with him, but I don't have any answers to those questions yet, so.
Right.
And this would require a hearing too
Hearing,
for
yeah.
the regulation to go in. So between, depending on what you decide, between then and now, we would do a draft
Mm-hmm.
and make it work for what we have. But they don't, we also have a lot of haulers,
We
but
do.
nothing stays in their tanks. I mean, it goes right out. They wouldn't be able to do their job if they didn't, so it shouldn't affect them.
Right, but we do have, the Gardner treatment plant is located in Templeton.
Right,
We have Seaman Paper Mill is located in Templeton, as, in addition to
our sewer.
our landfill. I think it has a projected lifespan that, quite a long
It does,
lifespan.
but it's never gonna be touched or
Right.
changed, that landfill, the capped landfill.
Right.
And that's monitored yearly with the wells, and we put it on, and DEP comes out and does the
Oh, I was
inspections.
talking about the sludge landfill.
Oh, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, I'm
down at the
sorry.
treatment plant.
Yeah.
So I think Gardner's, I'm not sure if Gardner's sludge landfill is located in Templeton or in Gardner. It's right on the line.
On
Pretty
6,
sure part of it is in Templeton,
Right.
but I can find out.
okay.
So those are the kinds of issues that, as a community, if this is something that you would be willing to, you know, entertain, or, you know, that should be looked into and look at the ramifications of that as well. I think Seaman, I don't know what they do with their sludge. I think some of it goes to, there's a composting place in Westminster.
Oh, down near the bottom of the hill there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where theirs goes, but I know they don't have like a separate sludge landfill for their process. But I just found this and I asked to be on the agenda, and graciously I was put on the agenda, and I was hope that you would take this under consideration and maybe have a hearing if at the hearing there are people who have other concerns and questions, you know?
It is pretty simply written, and all the regulations are already there, so it was
Mhm.
easy for me to go in and look at them. But the questions I had are, Julie already brought them up.
Brought them up, yeah. That's what I was wondering.
but this might help protect the town, because we do have a lot of gravel pits in town. And this material is being used to reclaim gravel pits throughout the state. And they're finding more and more of the PFAS and the forever chemicals that are in there are contaminating the wells. So,
That we don't want.
no. On that, we agree. So I don't know if you just want to take it under consideration for tonight, or, think about it, and then if
And then we'd have to set up a meeting if we decide to go through with something similar, or
Yes, and what I would do is just, like I said, I need to check on a couple more things. I need, he didn't answer questions, he just gave me more questions.
questions, yeah, that's what I was
So-
like, going, what am I missing?
So I just need to
Yeah.
do some research on Gardner and Siemens, and then I really didn't see anything in here that was,
No, it seems very reasonable
Horrible.
to me, so,
so I would think I'd do a draft,
okay.
send it to you guys to look at, and then we could, depending on what you wanna do, if you wanna set up a hearing date, I have to have a certain amount of time to advertise in the newspaper, and maybe even do an information meeting prior to it.
Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you. That was easy. It's like I read it like 6 times a weekend. I'm going back to it, going, all right, I got this all. It did seem a little
It is
simple, so
simple.
I'm like going, all right. So, okay.
So what are they currently doing with, when they pump in somebody's tank? They're putting it in a truck and they're taking it to,
They can take it to our sewer department here, and it's processed there. But they have to be permitted with Templeton to be able to take it to them.
yeah, I understand all that, but does,
Dewatering.
I don't, yeah, no, I understand
I'm glad you do.
I understand that they need, that part, but I don't know, I guess I'm not legally.
What part are you looking at?
Looking at the septage, when it says the liquid solids and semi-solid contents of privies, bathrooms, chemical toilets, cesspools, holding tanks, or other sewage waste for, it's not cleaning whichever space.
Did you want to say something, Beverly? Since you moved up, I think you do.
Yeah. I'm Beverly Bartolomeo. I live on South Road in Templeton. And I sat up there at one time, long time ago, long time ago. You know, Templeton has had a history of making really bad decisions. And when they do that, the bad decisions cost the taxpayer a lot of money. Julie had talked about, we've been friends now for quite a few years, she had talked about worrying about Casella to coming back to town. And she was right. There is a need for a place for the sludge. I really have a problem with DEP allowing them to spread it all over the state. Because if you look at one of the maps, I think it's something like It Smells, it's a website. In New York, there are blooms all over where people have had to deal with the stench from this stuff. So I know Irving has stopped outside pumpers from going into their sewer treatment plant. I think the mill may have to close down. But that isn't our fault, and that has got nothing to do with us. If we get involved with these guys, they got deep pockets. It's the same thing as, I don't know if you know this, Templeton made a deal with Baldwinville Products, which is owned by Irving Cable, to do the first sewer treatment plant, because Baldwinville had no sewer at all. It was running down the bank and into the river. Well, in the middle of the whole thing, Charlie Housen decided to sell the mill to American Tissue. That left the town high and dry with a plan for a great big sewer system that we didn't need, because the mill had they had no thought about continuing business. They were just gonna collect tipping from the septic trucks. Cost the town, I don't know, Julie, do you know how much money?
A lot.
$6 million, and we got nothing, because that wasn't enough. Because we'd still be going to court with them. This is why it's important to protect the town. Gladys rolled over in her grave. Why they ever touched the bylaw, as it was, maybe it wasn't perfect, but the intent was there. So, there's stuff that happens that you just never would dream of. And the way it's written up now, and adding this to it isn't gonna hurt.
Right.
Because it's just like the last lady said at the last meeting, there is so much pollution in this town now, we don't need any more. We really don't. And when you think things are, oh, nobody's gonna bother us, nobody's gonna come back, yeah, they do, because they're desperate. But if it ain't good enough for Irving, and they don't want it, we certainly don't need it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly.
6 million, huh? Just think what we could do with 6 million. Maybe we could have roads we could ride down.
That's on the rate pays.
So what you can do is send me any questions that you have, so
Okay.
that I can get them to the right people and get you answers, and then move forward.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions that you want us to ask, or? Do you? Okay. You're always so quiet. I know, that's what I hear. So, okay, so we will get our questions to Lori, we'll get the answers, and we will let you know. This certainly sounds reasonable, so.
Then we could put a stockade around the town.
You know,
Yeah, 'cause there's so
I'm not
much
sure we
going
can
here.
do that, but.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
all right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll move back up to 1 to review the minutes of November 4th meeting. Does anybody have any questions, or?
They look good to me. I can make a motion to accept the minutes.
Beautiful.
All right, you want to second that, Earl?
I will second.
All
that.
right, all in favor?
Yay.
And then on to the changes to the nicotine and tobacco regulations.
And I'm gonna be honest, I have not sifted through all of it yet. I've been sending you the information as I get it. That's something you're gonna have to start thinking about too, whether or not,
I was glad at least Templeton didn't have any fines, although it would be nice revenue.
it would be a lot of revenue.
It's pretty
As you
high.
can see, they've increased
Yeah.
to what, $1,000,
$1,000, yeah.
$2,000?
Yeah.
And that does come to the town if they do write a fine.
Yeah, that's.
What's the town do with it?
It goes into the general fund.
fund.
So it's gone.
Pittsburgh, and I'm trying to remember what the other town was that she said was fine.
There were a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
I would like to invite Joan
Joan.
Putnam Hamlet to come to our next meeting.
tell her
To-
half an hour earlier.
I'll tell her half an hour earlier, yes.
That works sometimes.
Sometimes it doesn't. So that she can at least talk about it
Yes, yeah.
and give recommendations from the Tobacco Alliance.
Yep. And she said, sounded like she still had some questions too, to make sure that everything was
Yes.
gonna be in order, so.
Because as usual, nothing is ever written clearly.
Yeah. Oh, it was Winchendon and Fitchburg had fines. And Leominster. Leominster had 10 fines.
That's a lot of
Yeah. That's a lot. So, yes,
So
definitely invite her.
may I go ahead and invite her?
Yes, please do. And again, if we have any questions, let Lori know so she can
Yeah,
give
in
them
the
to Joan
meantime.
ahead of time, so she can answer them, although she does come in really well-equipped.
I'm sure she's gonna be asking us to change some of our tobacco regulation to include, obviously, the new state mandated regulations.
Yes. More for sure about vaping.
And she has templates, so it won't be very hard for us to
Right.
do them up. She's telling me that it doesn't require a public hearing, but I think you might wanna have a public information meeting at least to talk about the changes.
I agree with that. And
It gives people an
don't think-
opportunity to ask questions.
yeah, I don't think the last time we had one, did anybody come? But it's, yes, yeah, they do watch us on TV now. We're stars. I just didn't know that, who's got smoking bars around here? Anybody?
Do not
I know
have,
we don't, but I'm like going, where?
they're actually Gardner, someone's trying to put one
Put
in
one in,
Gardner.
yeah, I read that. I'm like,
Yeah, kind of.
yeah, I guess. There should be regulations.
Cigar
on-
bar in Worcester.
Is there? Like
There used to be one in Fitchburg too.
It's a really nice one in
Where
Worcester.
in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Since I don't.
It's closed now, I think.
Okay, so yes, definitely invite her. All right, so the Board of Health activities for 10, 11, and 12.
Yes, I did them differently.
You did them differently, you confused me.
I'm sorry, the reason for that is I got way behind on activities for you guys, so what I did was I took the excerpts, I cut and paste
Okay.
from the weekly
Makes
report
sense.
and put it
Okay.
in a format for you. The information's all there, though.
All the same.
I didn't make the cut.
You didn't make the cut?
No.
It's because it's for,
Something else.
well, no, January's still January.
Was it in January? Yeah, I guess it was.
Oh. Now I'm gonna have to look. Was it December?
Yeah, it had to have been.
So I missed something then.
Mhm.
So I did more work than I.
Yes, you did. I hope you get compensated.
Was it?
She did a perk test for us.
Oh.
Yep.
I was looking to see, I was reading, for some reason, the perk test, and I noticed that there wasn't one on here.
Well, you know, all of December, pretty much, we partied here at Town Hall, so.
Is that?
I heard that's the word on the street. All right.
So what happens with the Title V that didn't pass?
They're actually, Ladder Hill?
Yeah,
Ladder Hill is in the process, they're actually going to tie into sewer, I believe,
okay.
because it is close enough. And
Yeah,
when that
that's
happens, they're actually going to, they won't have to decommission their system. They'll be using the tank as a grinder pump,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Interesting.
Keep looking, wanting to have another side. That would have been the only question that I had, Ms. Lawrence.
Good.
Anybody else have any other questions about them?
Everybody good?
Yep.
You good? Okay.
At least so.
So, there are some corrections, just I want to bring you guys up to date on our website page. And even our date for meetings was wrong. on there because of the change to Mondays. We just never went out and double
I
checked.
noticed that. I was
Okay.
gonna ask you about it.
So I'm shooting for, if we can do the fourth Monday of the month, nobody else has meetings on Mondays. But you need to look at your calendars and tell me if that's a problem.
What's the date?
Next
24th.
one be the 24th.
We'll be back by then. I should.
Too bad.
Yeah, sorry, Earl.
Can only stretch it out for so long.
1, 2, 3, 4, the 23rd of March.
Is it the 23rd or is it the 24th?
You're looking at
Oh.
Sunday.
No, the
We're into
23rd
February,
of
right?
March is.
Oh,
yeah,
of
No,
March. I'm sorry, I was
like the
looking at
24th.
February.
Yeah, I'm looking ahead, would be the
You're confusing me.
4th Monday,
It's the fourth Monday in February.
The
the
24th.
24th.
Okay.
And the 23rd. And the 27th of April.
You're going very
And
Yeah,
I
just-
can actually put together
So if you,
a
yeah,
list for you if you want. But I think that if we can do that, I can at least get I've asked Holly to help me change our
okay,
page.
all right, yeah, and I know.
Take Luke off.
Take Luke
Yes.
off.
Yes.
I noticed that when I was looking for the phone number. So May would be the only exception.
You're allowed to have a vacation.
Okay, because it's Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, meaning that
I'll look
if
at
we
the
went ahead,
dates.
yeah, but the
Okay.
fourth Monday would work
But
for
we do
me.
1 month at a time.
I know,
She's
well, in case,
an
so she can
overachiever.
put it in, yeah, I know what I'm doing until like October on every Monday, so, okay.
So we're good with that?
Yes,
Okay. I'll do that tomorrow and get it out to you guys to look at. And that's all I have.
does anybody else have anything that they need to discuss?
I just have a question about the, I have 2 questions. Presently, the town residents and businesses are served largely by private drinking wells and public water wells. Is there a third?
That's the Granby.
I know, but is there a third source?
As far as water goes,
Yeah.
not in Templeton. Bottled water.
Okay, is this served largely by that? What
And we
about-
can
It doesn't
change-
mention, I know, I'm just saying, it doesn't mention, what about if say somebody bought a piece of land and they had no intentions of doing anything with it, reselling it like it was landlocked, it was unusable, and they wanted to reclaim it and make a field out of, say, a small field. I'm not talking acres, I'm talking
A lot.
up, half acre, 20,000 square feet, and they want to just try this stuff and put it down. Are there gonna be restrictions on private property or mass producing or
This would be for anything coming in,
anything,
anything.
including,
Because if you live there and I live here and you put that stuff on your property,
Goes into
it
there.
may get in the water system, migrate to me. Nothing stays where it belongs, and it runs downhill,
yeah,
So if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it.
It would cover everything.
okay.
There's nothing that good that comes out of that stuff, trust me.
Just send it to me, any questions that you
Yeah,
have.
Okay.
And I'll talk to Bob, and I'll put a draft together for you to look
Okay.
at.
Okay. Anything else?
no,
Anybody? All right.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Laura made a motion, 7:24.
I will second it.
Second. See.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for coming.